Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to like, share, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the show. Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine and welcome to my show. And get ready for another episode of The Drop. So today I have a special guest. Let people know who you are. Drum roll.
Okay, I'm Terry. Most people know me as Flex.
Because he always flexing.
I guess you could say that.
Okay, well, thank you for coming to the show.
You're welcome.
So, Terry's like my brother, and we always have these conversations about men and women. And the topic at hand that everybody's talking about is Kevin Samuels. I gotta say that again, Kevin Samuels. So, he is a YouTuber, and he talks about love, relationships, men, women, making sure you have your stuff together, breaking down what exactly is a high-value man or a high-value woman. So, Terry seems to have a lot of opinions about that.
I do.
And so I thought it was awesome to just bring him on the show and, him make a couple statements. Now, those of you, if you just watched that video that I've just shown, have seen Terry be very opinionated on our solo society, which you can go on my channel and find. So, all the women wanted to kill you.
True, they did.
Yeah, you weren't the most favorite.
I was not.
And you're okay with that?
That's fine.
That's fine. Okay, so let's just jump into it. Is Kevin Samuels wrong?
No, I don't think he's wrong.
Because why?
Okay, as far as Kevin Samuels, what I feel is I agree with his message.
Okay.
I think that maybe his delivery is a little off. Some people view him as being rude and coming down on women. And I understand why he's like that.
Okay.
I don't agree with it, but like I said, I understand. So what a lot of women have to realize is that is his podcast. That is his platform. His rules go. You can't go on his platform expecting to do what you want to do. And he's opening that platform for multiple people to speak. So he cannot accept 10 girls coming on there saying the exact same thing. So that's why I feel he does be rude to some people and rush them and kick them off, because he have to give so many different people opportunities to speak. So he can't allow every girl to come on there and give them the exact same reason. And I believe that's why he gets rude with some people and he's a little short, and that's why he's like that with some people, because he just don't want to hit the same thing every single time. And that's what I've noticed in a lot of his podcasts, that majority of the girls, they all have the exact same argument.
And that argument would be?
And their argument is, so the whole situation, what I found about with Kevin Samuels is, I was watching one of his videos and I noticed he was talking about the disconnect between the black men and black women in the new modern generation. And I feel what he's saying is true. There is a disconnect between the black woman and the black man.
But why?
A lot of it stems from,
Don't say no bullshit.
I think, social media.
Okay.
Television. And a lot of different influences.
Influences on women, men, or both?
On mostly the women. And I think that society has used the women because they know that the women are actually the prize, per se. So they know if they can control how the women feel, then the men don't have a shot. Because what they did was they pretty much, I really don't know how to explain this, but they pretty much give the women so many different options and different outs to make them feel like they don't need a man. And in reality, I feel like a man needs a woman and a woman needs a man. You know, whether you can say that I don't want a man or this and that, but to live a good, healthy life, I think a man needs a woman and a woman needs a man.
Okay, so I agree with you. Me personally, I don't have an issue with what Kevin Samuels says, because I agree with him a lot. His delivery may not always be what people want it to be, but do I think he's gotten rude? Here's the thing, people say that he's rude and short. However, I watch a lot of his videos and he's only being rude with people that just clearly don't get it, or being obnoxious. I don't think if someone have to send me a video, I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen some. He gets rude with people that, to me, I feel like they just come on the show just to get some attention, some gossip, you know, get the people talking. But he doesn't just come off as just a rude person.
Right.
So let's talk about this whole narrative that's being pushed. You know, when you hear a lot of women say, I don't need a man. Do you think that it's pushing us back as women? And let's just talk about our culture within the Black community. Do you think it's, you know, pushing us back?
Yeah, I think it is pushing us back. And I've done a little research, and I've kind of figured out that a lot of the government assistance that has been handed out, some of that they have actually, now this wasn't the original reason for the government assistance, but they found out that they can use this to further split the Black community up. What they've done was they've made it to where the women don't actually need the father of their children or any man per se, because basically if a woman is struggling, the government is just going to help her out. And she feels like she does not need support, all of that. I mean, I understand how women feel. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. All I'm saying is I understand why some women feel like they don't need a man for anything.
So, I see both sides, okay? I'm gonna play devil's advocate right now, right? Okay, so from a woman's side, and it gets so deep because you do go back into the housing situation where if, you know, because here's the thing, as two people together, you can do very, very well in life, or you can also have some breakdowns and go through some stuff. I think no matter what class of people you are, you experience that to a certain degree. So when they came out with the housing or Section 8, one of the things that I feel like contributed to the demise of the Black community is taking the man out the house. Because if you work together, even if you guys are struggling, if you stay on that same path, you can move forward from that. But when it took the man out the house, and I've heard Angela Stanton, I hope I'm pronouncing her name, she gets a lot of pushback, but she says a lot of real stuff. When you take the man out the house, he ends up going to another house. And then that's another whole family that started. And sometimes you lack in one area. I'm not giving him an excuse not to take care of his children, but based on statistics and what the numbers say, that has happened in a lot of situations. I think that assistance should have been provided for both families to get back on track, because that did hurt the Black community, because it's like the man can't be in the house, so now she's forced to, you know, live in this situation without a man. He can't come around, so he's gonna go somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? So that is one. But devil's advocate here, so you have a young lady, right? And she's doing everything. The father is just checked out. He's not there financially, physically, nothing, right? So she has to do everything. She has to play the mama, she has to play the daddy. She's taking care of everything, and it makes her feel like if I'm doing all of this by myself and I'm actually succeeding in my role, then what do I need a man for? So I see both sides. You know, I'm with you. I think, you know, there should be a partnership. You know, we're made for each other. So I agree with you on that one. But you know, you took it a whole nother place and you was like, they pushing the lesbian narrative. You trying to get me boycotted.
Hey, that's what they doing, but like I said, I'm not gonna talk on that because that's a touchy subject, so I'm gonna stay away from that one.
But I think women have to also be honest with themselves. I'm going through a similar situation. So I'm single, ready to mingle. But I'm single, and I'm dealing with a situation where I am redoing a building that I own. And I've met with, you know, a couple of contractors, you know, to get quotes, kind of see where I'm at with everything. And everything has not been peaches and cream for me. What I've noticed is when I have like my male, you know, friend meet me there, they're more prone to do business. There's not pushback. They're like, hey, I can't do the job. It's this amount of money. But when it's just me dealing with the situation, it's really hard. And, you know, to me, when a woman says, I don't need a man, you say that in every situation, because if something breaks down in your house and a man comes and fixes it, you need a man. So when you say you don't need a man, that means everything, a part of your life, from even you getting your car fixed, you calling the plumber, you're moving and you can't lift your furniture, that means you're saying you could do all of that. And I'm not saying that men are just good just for like physical or sexual uses, but we have to be real with ourselves. You need a man. Even if you don't date a man and you use his sperm to produce a child, you need a man. So I think when women make that statement, you just need to stand on, I don't need a man, period. You know, versus kind of like you can't pick and choose how you want the narrative to go when it's not factual.
Right, that's true.
So I look at your social media and you say a lot of crazy things.
I do sometimes.
So is this women in general, or do you feel like this is black women?
I feel that it is majority black women. I'm not gonna just put all my beautiful black women under the bus.
Please don't.
There's other races that have this problem as well, but not as many of them as the black community. For instance, the black community, most women, they require a man to make a certain amount of money before they are even.
So we're talking about the high value man. The high value man that Kevin Samuels talks about.
Yes, as he talked about the high value men. Now, me personally, I feel high value. The only person that can put a value on a person is. It's really. I don't really know. Like, everybody can't say who's how value. I mean, it's all, like they say, beauty in the eyes of the beholder. It just depends on what that person is looking for. Somebody could be high value to somebody and may not be high value to someone else. And most people, they look at a high value man as a man who makes a certain amount of money, has a certain status, which all of that is good and some of that is true, but you can also be an average guy, an average earner, and still be a high value man. You don't have to make $100,000 a year to be a high value man. And I feel that some women are, they're making their options very slim by going off of income, because some people have hardships in their life where some people go through things. They made a lot of money in the past, and they may go through something, and then they have an opportunity to get the money back. You never know what somebody's road is bringing. Right. So you cannot down someone, or because I've heard a lot of women, they say, "Oh, I wouldn't date him. He don't make enough money." Like, it makes no sense to me, because you can get this guy that makes $100,000 a year, and he could be abusing you, or he could be controlling you, or he could be cheating on you. You never know. Money is not everything. You want to have some love, and
you want to have love, yes, but you also want to be secure.
You want to be secure.
Like, if I'm dating someone, I would like to be secure. But here's the thing. The same expectations that I have in that man, I have in myself. Exactly. So if I come to him and I feel like this is what I want from you, or this is where I want you to get to, it's coming from a woman that is also there with you. I can't expect something of you to a certain degree and not bring that back to you. But I agree. I think a lot of women want to be with a man that has a lot of money. I think in cases like that, you miss out on the opportunity of being with a good guy, because like you said, you don't know where the road is going to go to. Because here's the thing, there was Michelle and then there was Barack. Did she know at one point when they first met earlier on that he was going to be president 2 terms? So I'm rolling with you on that, because money is not everything, not having it is. But if you can kind of meet in the middle, if he has a plan and the drive is there for him to keep going, I'm cool with that. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying go get with a guy who has no plan, who's sitting around not even trying. Because I know people that's not trying. There's guys out here that really could care less, and they do. There's a lot of guys that leech off women. I don't condone that. There's a lot of guys that live with women and don't even care to help out with anything. They're selfish. I used to be selfish, so I understand. But that's not it. What I want women to understand is the guy that they want is slim. When we looked it up, and Kevin Samuels said it as well, the amount of men in the United States that make over $100,000 a year is slim. It's only 6% of people of men in the United States that make over $100,000 a year. And you mean to tell me there's 3 billion people in the world? So you got half of that, it's got a billion people fighting over 6% of men.
So are you saying that men women need to settle?
It's not actually settling. What it is it's just being realistic. It's not settling, it's being realistic. You cannot be a female that does not have a job, living on government assistance, don't even have, I hate to say this, but majority of women that live on government assistance don't even have a plan to get off of government assistance. They plan on staying on government assistance because I've heard women say, I don't want this job because I'm not going to be able to get my money.
Who hurt you?
No one hurt me. I've been hurt before. But a lot of the stuff that I say, first of all, let me tell y'all, I'm not no philanthropist. I'm not a relationship expert. Okay. I'm not a counselor. All of this just comes from my personal experience and experiences I've had from friends or I've seen and stuff like that with other people. So this is all just stuff that I'm saying. None of this is relationship advice. So don't take what I say and go do exactly
98.3% is opinion.
Exactly.
Terry's opinion.
Right. So, but what I can say is that I think women should look at themselves.
Look in the mirror.
Exactly. See what they can offer. What do you bring to the table? And then lower your stand. I don't think lowering your standards is settling, because sometimes you can shoot so high and you're not really being realistic, and yes, me for instance, I think I'm a fly guy.
Well, according to the clip, you said I'm young, I'm handsome, I make a lot of money, and I drive a nice car, and I sleep with whoever I want to sleep with. Yeah, I remember it.
Okay.
The girls was ready to stab you. I was like, if he make it out the door alive, there is a God.
Right. But at that time of my life, that's where I was. And I don't knock people living their life, having fun, doing what you do. You should just be real with yourself, figure out exactly what you want at that time. Okay. And sometimes what you want right now is not going to be the same thing that you want later. At that time in my life, that's where I was. I was just wanting to party. I got married at a very early age, so I did not get a chance to live that good single life like a lot of people did live in their early 20s. So when I finally got to live that single life, I went ahead and I pushed it to the limits. And there was nothing wrong with that because I was single. When you're single, you can do what you want. But what I don't condone is the unfaithfulness, because I've been there. I've been unfaithful a lot of times. Okay. And a lot of people know. Okay. But I don't condone that now. Now that I see what I was doing was wrong. You don't lead people on. You don't lie to people. If you want to be in a relationship, be in a relationship.
So what changed that?
Okay, a few things changed that. Age changed that. Okay. I got a little older. I noticed when I went out to the club, I noticed every time I went out, 10:30, 11:30, I get sleepy. Don't really want to be in there no more. You start seeing the same people and you be like, yeah, this is just not for me. So I started cutting back on going out. And then I bumped into, so this is a crazy story. So the lady that I'm with now is someone that we've known each other before we actually started dating. We knew each other. And we typically too much didn't even care for each other. She said that I was cocky, was arrogant, I thought I was something. She didn't like the way I moved. And I understand that because I did get that a lot from some people. I understand that. And when I saw her, she was fine. I mean, of course I would have got her, but she was nobody that I wanted to actually be in a relationship with, because it was just something about her I just didn't like. Okay. And now look at us. We're soulmates. That's my babe.
Yes, that is your babe.
And I'm gonna be with her for the rest of my life. And
you heard it here first. On the drop, Jasmine Soiree. We break the news.
Yes, that's my baby. We're gonna definitely tie the knot. We're gonna keep all y'all updated. But back to what I was saying. So when we got together, I know you asked me one day, you asked me how did I know that was the one. I'm gonna tell you how I know she was the one. So funny story, on our very first time hanging out.
I thought you was about to break into some very first time.
On our very first time of us being together, we were laughing, cracking jokes, watching TV, and she farted.
Oh, that's
real.
real.
On our first date.
That is real.
Laughing. And when you farted, she started laughing, and she didn't even like try to hide it. I was like, wow. And it didn't bother me. Mm-hmm. That was the crazy part, because it didn't even bother me. Like when she did it was cool. And you know me, I was just like, wow. That almost turned me on a little bit.
What are y'all into?
I know. And then on the second day, we were talking about it, and I did it.
You farted.
I farted. And she wasn't even tripping. She just died laughing. So I knew that was the one for me. I said, wow. And she's my best friend. It's more than just that. We talk about everything. She's understanding. She knows everything about me. She knows my past. Didn't judge me at all. You know what I'm saying? And that was a key thing, because a lot of people do know my past. And a lot of people don't even want to deal with that. But she trusts me. And I show her how much I love her. And that is one thing I did want to push to the fellas. Yes, a lot of fellas do dog women. They say women say this, they say this and that. But for my fellas, I just want you guys to know that it's okay to help your woman. If you feel like there's problems going on, help her. You don't have to down her. Show her where you feel that things can be better. You don't have to actually make it as you're coming at her, coming down on her. Let her know, speak to her in a tone, and let her know that, hey, I see what you're doing and I understand. Let her know you understand where she's coming from, and show her that I feel for us to succeed in our relationship, that it may be better for us to try this route. And women will accept that better than you just coming at them, because when you're going back and forth, and some people, when you come at them, they instantly go in defense mode. And once you go in defense mode, you may be giving them good advice or solid things, but once you're in defense mode, you can't hear any of that.
So I got a question. Let's go back to Kevin Samuels type thing, because you made the comment, you said that you used to be arrogant or this, right? And so Kevin Samuels talks about that, because he says most high value men have options, and they're sometimes a little arrogant. And when he says have options, like he brought up the whole thing with what's the guy, Bill Gates, Microsoft. And it had came out that he had a mistress all of these years and that type of stuff. So
wife stayed.
Right, the wife stayed. So do you feel like men that have money or influence kind of have options and they can do what they want to do, and women should just like stay and deal with it?
It all depends. It depends on the woman, and it depends on the guy. Some guys don't want to get married. And then you also have to look at some guys that are that wealthy. When guys have a certain amount of money and certain amount of businesses and things that are in place, some of them look at women as a liability, because the way the system is set up, marriage is not set up for men to succeed at all.
So
marriage is set up for women.
Say that
because first of all, the moment the marriage is over,
it's about the money.
Everything, you got to split half. You got half with the wife. You got alimony. I mean, it's rare cases that you hear men getting alimony. It's rare. Majority of the time, it's majority women. And then you have some women that only get married to the guy anyways, just for the money anyways.
But here's the thing. You said that it's meant for women to succeed and men to fail. Let's take the divorce out of it.
Okay.
The money out of it. Do you still stand on that? Or you're only saying that because in most cases with divorce, women do end up with alimony?
That's that too, but like I say, it depends on the couple, because you can have a woman who gets with a guy for the money. They don't get a divorce, but she could be using tactics, like as far as she could be holding back sexually. She could be doing a lot of different things that really aren't healthy for a relationship, but because she knows she has the upper hand that she can get away with it. And that's why some men cheat. Now, some men cheat just because they're men and they're just gonna cheat. But a lot of men do cheat if somebody's holding back on them. And it's not always sex. It can be emotion.
How important is, let's talk about sex. How important is sex in a relationship, and how does it affect a man when you live with a woman and she's like, I don't want to have sex right now?
And again, just people are different. Because there's some guys that don't have a high sex drive, and there are some guys like myself that
Cameron
have a
put
high
his head up when he said
sex
some guys don't have. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was like, oh.
Some guys don't have a high sex drive, and then some guys do have a high sex drive. And then same with women. Some women have a high sex drive, some women don't. And it just all depends. I do think that it is a big part of a relationship because men cheat, and especially if they're not happy. And it's all about flesh.
I don't know if it's, I can't agree with you, because men cheat sometimes because it's there and it's available. Because I know men that go home and like extremely happy and still cheat. And I think sometimes it's that desire of knowing, it's that cat and mouse type thing. I don't think it has, some stuff is happy, right? Not being happy, but also, you have to admit it, that you can be fully happy and you can have a woman that's meeting you majority of the mentally, physically, emotionally, sexual, spiritually, right? Maybe not meeting all of them, but the majority. Y'all still will cheat. So
some, I'm not gonna say, because now I have a whole different mindset now. Like, I've been with a lot of different women. I hate to keep saying that, but this is the first time I've ever been with someone and I know I'm not gonna cheat. I don't care who you put in front of me. I can be out of town, a million miles away from her, and I don't care who you bring to me, I'm not gonna cheat. And I've never thought that I would ever feel that way. But I do feel that way because she's not only my girlfriend or my significant other, she's my best friend. I wouldn't do something like that to my best friend. I have a guy best friend. I wouldn't go do something wrong to him because that's my best friend. So she's my best friend, so I wouldn't do it to her.
So did you cheat in your marriage when you were married? So was your wife then not your best friend?
No. And that's a big thing. A lot of people are in relationships that are not best friends. And you can get with someone based on certain different things. Some people end up dating because they started off having sex and they figured out, we've been having good sex for so long, we just might as well be together. Some people can, it just emotions. I've dated a girl before just because her grandpa died and I was there for her, and it just led to you be there for somebody and emotions get high and you just feel like that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Everybody's not best friends with their significant other. And that's a key part in a long-lasting relationship, is to be best friends. Because when you're best friends, you'll be open, you won't hide things, and like I say, you won't do things that you know will hurt your best friend.
You know what? I have to agree with you on that. I have to agree with you, because even for me, like, sex has never been, like, physical appearance has never been my thing. Like, I've never just saw a guy and just be like, oh my God, he's so fine, his body build is so great, I just gotta be with him. You know, I've never been in a situation where the sex was so great. Not saying I haven't had great sex, but I've never been with a man where the sex was just so great, I just want to be with him. What works for me is like mentally, like I'm all mental. I have to feel like we connect here. So I'm really big in any one that I've dated, not a lot, but anyone that I've dated will tell you, like, she's my friend. You know what I'm saying? And even though the relationship did not work out, we still have a good relationship because I'm big on friends. And I think people that build it on status and sex, it never lasts. And because here's the thing, if you're in it for the long haul and we all want companionship, you're gonna get old. And if we be honest, when you get to a certain age, things start drying up down there and things stop rising up to the top up there. It happens. I'm not jinxing you, bro. I'm not jinxing you, bro. I want you and your girl to go till y'all are 100. Knock on wood. But what I'm saying is, realistically, sometimes when you get to a certain age, hell, somebody might have a bad heart and they can't. You have to have a friend. You want to be able to have someone that you can talk to because, and then physical, you know, appearances change. People gain weight, lose weight, get sick. So people really should concentrate on building a relationship with a friendship. You know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna be built to last. That's gonna be solid. This other stuff is it's for the birds. But let me get on this. Let's talk about social media.
Okay.
Men and social media. What's interesting to me is that, you know, I hear men say they want a certain kind of woman, like they want her to be like this and not have had multiple sexual partners, carry herself like a lady, dress a certain way. However, y'all be on social media liking girls that are maybe half dressed, not knocking anyone that's half dressed, I'm bringing up a point. Liking women who are, is it scandalously dressed? I hope I pronounced that correctly. What'd you say? To the person in the background, thank you. Seductively. Y'all like those pictures, y'all be in their DMs, but it's just like so contradicting because you want this kind of woman, but then you study over here hollering at this kind of woman.
Yeah.
Don't make no sense.
It's like I always say, everything just depends. Because, I mean, I've been there. I've been all in the DMs. I look at Instagram pictures back in the day. I was liking all the half-naked women.
I mean, y'all just,
you know, just like
I got one homeboy, all of my homegirls, every time they drop a picture, guess what? I see his name. I'm like,
that was me. I mean, because a lot of men, we played a numbers game. Playing a numbers game is a smart way to go. What you do is, the numbers game is, you like all the girls, you DM all the girls, and you just see who messages you back. Out of 100 girls, you're gonna get at least 40 or 30 or 40 that's gonna message you back. I played the numbers game. I didn't have, and me, I'm not shallow, so I don't really have to have the slim girl with the nice butt and this and that. So I'm not really shallow because I'm a personal trainer and I know people's bodies change. And if I ever dated a girl that wasn't in shape, I mean, I'm not gonna force anything on her. If I date her, that means I like her and I accept her for how she is. But if she ever has any type of insecurities or she wants to change, I can be there for her to help her do that. Okay. And me personally, I've never really wanted any females, like now, at the stage of my life now. Back then when I was bodybuilding and I was in shape, I loved the attention I was getting. But as of where I'm at now, I pretty much would never want a woman who liked me for my body because I know that could change. Anything can happen. Right. I could be in a car accident or same thing like what happened with COVID. We couldn't get to the gym for months.
That's
I mean,
true.
Anything can happen and your body can change and you could be out of shape just like that. And then she'll just be on to the next guy on social media. So people need to not be shallow.
Okay.
And like you said, be best friends. Get you a friend first, establish a good foundation, and then take it to the next level. Because if you started off on just sex, it's not gonna last. If you started off just because that person's status and that person's popular, that's not gonna last. Because at one point I was very popular, but now I don't even get on social media. People don't even hear from me.
Everybody just forgot your name.
I mean, I don't even.
Well, you be on there because look, you be talking stuff.
Sometimes I do.
Follow him on Facebook, Terry Potts, y'all. He's very opinionated.
Yeah, sometimes I do it just to mess with some of the people that post things because I know I can get under someone's skin when someone posts something that's very controversial. And also, I just want some women to think, you know, when you post things, especially as far as like saying all men are this way or I need to get out of here because the men in Little Rock ain't this. And I'm like, okay, you got to look at yourself. If all of the men that you're dating
something about you.
Right. It may be something about you that
are
drawing those type of men because there's plenty of good men out here. And I have met a ton of men that I know for a fact are treating their wives good. They're not cheating on their wives at all. And when I saw that, I remember telling myself, man, I don't know how they do it. Like, how can you be faithful like that? And then now I get it. That's because they found someone that they truly love. And it's easy. anything that I do for my girlfriend, it's easy for me. To somebody else, it may be work. Mm-hmm. To me, it's easy. I want to do things like that for her. I don't care what it is. I'll wake up early in the morning. Mm-hmm. I'll go to bed at night. I'll take extra jobs if I have to. Whatever it takes, I will do it for her.
And I think that's what a man should be. That's what a man should do. So, I have to bring this up. Okay. You say a lot about women and, you know, being realistic and, you know, men not having to settle. However, I noticed with men, you guys you're saying that a woman has to bring her values down a little bit, be more realistic, but sometimes you guys don't. Like, if there's a woman, a men may like larger women, right? And then some men may not. But you guys will feel like, oh, I don't want to talk to her, she's not in shape, or whatever the situation, she should lose some weight. Mm-hmm. So it's like, in certain arenas, you guys are not willing to bend on some stuff. When it comes to like losing weight and things like that, you expect a woman to look a certain way. And I'll say this, but men can have options, or maybe date multiple women, or not want to date a woman that may be overweight, right? But with women, even if it's a high value woman, she still has to lower her expectations. Do you feel like that's based on it being more men than women, or is it kind of a biased opinion?
It's probably a biased opinion. Me personally, I feel like everything should be fair. If that ain't fair. It ain't fair, but I feel like it should be fair. If a man expects a woman to lower their standards, then I feel a man who doesn't meet certain criteria should lower his standards as well. And like I say, lowering your standards does not mean settling. It just means be realistic. I mean, you shouldn't be a guy that is, if most women rate a guy as a 5 or a 6, and he doesn't take care of his body, he doesn't have good hygiene, there's no reason that he should be pushing women away just to try to get to a 10. I feel like that's counterproductive and you're just pretty much wasting time. So I feel like you should be making sure that you take care of yourself, be real with yourself, and go for what's realistic. And I'm not saying don't shoot for the stars, but I mean, you have to be realistic. If you go for that girl and you see she's not giving you any time, you got to learn signals. If you see she's not going for you, then you got to back out, but hey. And then everybody's rating is different. So I mean,
you believe in the ratings?
I believe in it because everybody rates everybody. Women rate men, men rate women.
I don't really like the ratings. I understand it, the way he breaks it down. Mm-hmm. I don't like it.
Most women may not use a number system as far as rating the men, but when they go out, they see certain men out that, okay, we know we're not gonna talk to them. And then they see certain men that they know that they would talk to. So they may not use a number system, but they're definitely rating them somehow. And you just have to be realistic. You can't be out here thinking that you all of that and talking about you want this guy to make this much and all of this, and he's not going to be interested in you. And another thing that I've noticed that he's not going to be interested in you. A lot of women say that they can't find this good man or this man that they want. Most of the men that you're looking for are not even going to be in a place that you typically go. So you won't even see those guys. There's a lot of good men and everywhere, really. There's a lot of good men in Little Rock, a lot of good men everywhere. But they're not going to surround themselves in places where you're going to be. I mean...
So is it a classism thing?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're typically not going to see in a hood rat spot where it's going to be shooting up the club. You're not going to see a lot of people that dress in suits and make $100,000 a year and got good credit. They're not going to be in there. So you have to figure out what type of person you want, and then figure out where do you think those type of people would hang out or would be, and just go in there and just bump into some people, rub some elbows with some people. I mean, it may not be exactly your spot or what you're used to, but if that's the type of man that you want, you just have to go into certain places to find that person. Same thing with guys. I mean, I used to go out to certain clubs and this and that, and I'd be wondering like, man, it's the same people, same thing. But me personally, at that time, I only wanted shallow women, so I didn't care.
So break it down to the people in the back what a shallow woman is.
At that time in my life, I was only wanting women that was going to be easy to take back. And I didn't want to do any work. Yeah. I didn't want to do any work.
No dates, no money spending.
No, I didn't want to do none of that. I didn't need to.
What?
I didn't need to. Now, what I'm saying now, this is all speaking on my mindset, how I was back then. Mm-hmm. I was a little arrogant. I was a little cocky. And at that time, you have to remember, I was bodybuilding. I was professional bowling. I was just doing a lot. Mm-hmm. And so I did have a lot of people who knew me. And at the time, I was financially stable. Like I said, nice vehicle. And my body was right. And when I was in high school, I was always a skinny basketball player. Okay. So I was always popular, but just from basketball.
Right.
But then when you get out, and I became a personal trainer, bodybuilding, and I built myself up a little bit, and I noticed, and I got braces too, and I noticed when I went out that the women were touchy-feely. I didn't have to speak to them anymore. It got to the point where I didn't even have to say anything. I could just be standing there with the guys and somebody would come to me, and I wasn't used to that. Mm-hmm. So the roles have changed for me. So it went from me having to go out, have game, figure out what I want to say to her, or this and that, and then the roles changed to where I can just go out and I don't have to say anything, and it was that easy. So I was like, okay, wow, this is easy. And that was fulfilling to me. And at that time in my life, I felt like that was the validation I need. That's what made me a man. I felt like the more women that I had.
You feel like that made you a man?
Yes, that's really? What I felt at that time.
Were you that shallow?
Yes,
okay.
At that time.
At that time?
At that time. And I mean, I'm glad I came out of that. There's nothing that I'm proud of, but I'm not ashamed of it either, because that made me who I am today. Because my story that I have, I can help some people. Because I've actually talked to younger people and I see them making the same mistakes that I was making, and I can talk to them and tell them, hey, listen, if you like somebody, you want to be with that person, be with them. If not, it's okay to live your life and have fun. Just go do that and be honest with everybody. So you just have to pick and choose what life you want to live, but you also have to remember that time is ticking, and especially for women.
Oh, there you go.
Because
you go. No.
Women value go down as they get older. Men value go up as we get older. Some men have the time to play around, and by the time they get 40, they can find themselves in there.
But you just said that you wish everything was fair. Do you wish that was fair? Because now you're...
I wish it was fair, but life is not fair. You can only try to make things be fair what you can try to... you can try to make things be fair what you can control, but some things you just can't control.
So, when you said earlier that you wish that things were fair, and then you're coming back and you're saying life is not fair.
It's not.
So is that smoke and mirrors what you said earlier?
I'm just being realistic. I would like for things to be fair, but I do know it's not fair, and I just accept it. There's a lot of things that I just accept, and I know that it's not fair, but you just have to accept them.
I mean, I agree. I don't think that the whole men and women situation is fair. I'm a very wishful thinker, but I don't think it's ever going to be fair. I don't think that we play on the same field. You know what I'm saying?
We don't.
And I don't think that we'll ever play on the same field. You know?
We won't, because, and women also have to understand that, okay, I'm going to use this story. This is not my story. I got this off of the Fresh and Fit podcast. Okay. This is not my story, but it was a great analogy. And basically what he was trying to get the women to understand is a lot of women wonder why guys want to have so many sexual partners and this and that. Women don't understand what it's like to be a man. And he pretty much was breaking this story down to let women understand what it's like. So he used this analogy. He says, think of a candy store. When a woman turns 18, she's automatically allowed into this candy store. As soon as she turns 18, she's automatically allowed in the candy store. It really doesn't matter how they look or anything, because any woman can go out right now and ask who wants to have sex with me, and she's going to get a lot of people to have sex. Guys cannot go out and do that. So basically, when a woman turns 18, she's automatically allowed into the candy store. She can have all the candy she wants, and then as she starts getting all of these different flavors and candy, she starts to notice that she don't like Tootsie Rolls. She knows that she don't like the yellow Laffy Taffy. She don't like the yellow and orange Skittles. And then as she gets a little older, she figure out what she likes. and that's pretty much what she wants. In the meantime, you have us men over here looking through the glass. We can't get into the candy store until we get a certain age, until we get a certain status, until we make a certain amount of income. Those are the guys who get to go in the candy store and pick what they want. So by the time we turn 35 or 40 and we're actually allowed to come in the candy store, we're going crazy. But the girls are looking at us like, what's wrong with you? But they're not realizing we're just now getting into the candy store. That's what high value men get. High value men get to get in the candy store, have their pick, and people think that it's wrong. I'm not gonna say it's wrong or right, but you just have to understand where they're coming from. It is so much easier for a woman to get sex versus a guy.
I get that, but here's the thing. You guys also don't get judged accordingly. If a woman goes in the candy store and she's tried 12 different flavors, which equal out to 12 different men, you may say that she's promiscuous. She sleeps around, right? But you guys can get 21 different pieces of candy and it's okay for you, you know? So it's a double standard, because even though women have these options to do this, we still can't, because if you do that, then you get judged for it. Then it's hard on your relationships. You know, your guy feels some kind of way because he feels like you've had multiple partners that he knows, you know, and it kind of brings your status down a little bit. Let's be honest. If there's a woman that has mouths on her versus with you guys, yeah, you might have had to wait to get certain things to get in that candy store. But at the end of the day, when you walk out the store, someone else is inviting you to a brighter, better candy store, while this other woman may be stuck at this candy store because she's had too much at this place right here in her life, so she can't go nowhere but where she's already been.
Well, it is a double standard, and I get it. And personally speaking, for me, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are like me. I personally don't care about a female's past, to be honest. I mean, I doubt there's gonna be a lot of females that can compete with my past anyways. And if she can, it really doesn't bother me, because it's like, I'm the one she got down. And people have to understand, especially when it comes to sex, it's just sex. Who cares who she has sex with? Now, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't have a problem if I found out she had sex with like one of my friends. I mean, I would want to know if she's been with somebody that we're all in the same circle with, because it would be uncomfortable. But as far as the number of people she's had sex with,
it would be uncomfortable for you, because women have to deal with that every day.
Yeah, it would be, and I understand that too. But as far as the amount of people and the number, I could care less. I don't look at women as whores or whatever, or promiscuous. I just feel like, hey, she was living her life, getting it. I salute any woman who just be honest and go out there and do it.
The question is, how many men think like you? Because you know the majority don't.
True.
It's very contradicting, but it's like you guys are free to explore and live life. You actually get kudos for being with multiple women, but you know, women, it's like stone us for that type of behavior. But like we said, it's not the same playing field. But a lot of things that you have said tonight, I do agree with you, because I feel like sometimes women can have bad behavior, and other women, to me, encourage it. They don't hold each other accountable for this, you know. If a woman is cheating on her husband or whatever, it's more like, you know, girl, do your thing, or he's stressing you out, or you need an outlet. If a man does it, he's horrible, you know, he's a piece of shit. So, I mean, it does, I understand. And I think sometimes with women, and I've said this before on my last, on my episode, we talked about where black women difficult. I just feel like women in general make it hard to be loved. You know, the easy stuff becomes hard, sometimes for no reason. And I think another problem is, if a woman wants to run a man, quit running him. Like, do you want to run a relationship, or do you want him to run a relationship? Because it's like, you talk about you don't want a soft man, you don't want to make all of the decisions, but then you try to run him. So I see a lot of things that can be worked out on the woman's side. I really do, to kind of make the relationship work. But on the men's side, I do see a lot of things. Like sometimes I feel like you guys are emotionally unavailable.
That's true.
Like not there. Is anybody knock? Is anybody home?
Yeah, and I get where you're coming from. And real quick, I'm not gonna take up too much more time, and I'm not gonna get too personal into my relationship. But like you were saying, the guys have to hold themselves accountable as well.
Yes, of course.
We have to learn how to talk to our woman. We have to know our woman to know what we can say and what she will accept. And in my relationship, you know, I understand that my girl, she's a single mom, so she had to raise her child by herself. So she had to be the mom, the dad, and she is that strong figure. So I had to learn that and understand that she has to kind of break that cycle because that's all she's been used to. She is that strong person. So when I found out we were bumping heads, and I had to learn that because we were bumping a little bit, but I had to understand that, okay, look, let me talk to her to let her know that I understand. And you don't have to be that in this relationship. I can be the man. But you also have to be with somebody that's willing to listen. And that's what I appreciate in my relationship. Because when I talked to her like that, she listened to me. And we were able to come to agreements and fix any problem that we had. You can't both be yelling and this and that. There has to be a level of respect, and you have to learn how to communicate. Sometimes when you're talking, you have to, when emotions, somebody said this, they said when emotions get high, and intelligence is low. So you have to bring the tones down. And I know people are emotional. I know women are emotional. Some men are emotional.
Some men
but
are
you have
emotional
to,
like women.
Yep, and you have to learn how to check your emotions. And some people use that as, I'm emotional, this and that, that's just how I am. Okay, that's how you are, but if you're breaking the line of communication, then you're messing up. So bring everything down. If you feel like things are getting out of whack, there's nothing wrong with taking a 10-minute break or 30-minute break and then coming back and talking to it. I feel like you get more accomplished when both people are settled and both people are down. You let one person talk, let them get out what they want, and then you get out what you want. You know, me personally, I've had this problem too. Cutting people off, not listening to the whole thing, want everybody to listen to me and just hear only my side. But it's a habit and you have to learn to break it. And it's hard. And once you start listening to people and you listen to what they have to say, sometimes you will hear something and it will make you say, oh, okay, maybe you're right. And even if I don't feel that you're right, I understand where you're coming from. So now if I understand where you're coming from, I can see where the miscommunication came from, and now we can fix that. So men have to learn how to talk to their women and be leaders. It's not always about just being the man and being a strong person and being head of the household. You have to be a leader, and part of being a leader, you have to know how to lead. And the person that you're with, you can't lead that person the same way you led the person that was before you or the person that's going to be after you. You have to know your mate. And once you know your mate, then you can know how to lead.
So it's one of those things with men, I feel like it's two things. It's timing and it's the woman. A friend of mine was in a relationship, and when they broke up, in a matter of months, they proposed to someone else. And I asked my friend, I said, hey, you moved kind of fast. I said, what changed your opinion? I mean, or what made you you just got out of a relationship, you proposed to somebody else. And he was like, one, I was ready. I was ready to be in a relationship. And he said, two, the woman that I'm with made it so easy for me to love her. What do you think about that?
That's very true. I believe that because loving my girl is super easy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing that I won't do, and nothing feels like work to me. You know, right. I mean, there's nothing that I won't do. So I feel like, I'm not going to say there's not going to be bad times and times where you have to work on situations and, you know, you have to compromise, you have to give, you have to take. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it should be easy. It should not be hard to love your mate. If that person feels a certain way, and this is what people have to understand, just because you feel like you didn't do something wrong, doesn't mean that other person doesn't feel a certain type of way.
Right.
You can unintentionally do things or say things that can hurt a person. Mm-hmm. And if that person is telling you that they're hurt, or you said something or did something that bothered them, you have to take a step back, look at what you did, and just evaluate it and say, okay, maybe I didn't intend to, but I'm sorry and I apologize that I did it. And you have to tell yourself, okay, see if this is something that you're willing to change. Because if it's something that you normally do, but it's bothering her, are you willing to stop doing it? And if it's hard and you have to think about it, I don't think that's the one. Because I feel that anything my girl tells me that is bothering her or is hurting her, I'm immediately going to just stop doing it.
And let me say this, I'm very happy for you, because you know, throughout the years we have had these conversations a lot, you know, and you have always been on some effort type stuff. I'm never getting married again. I don't ever want to date just one woman. I just feel like, wow, my homeboy is so harsh. But this person, I mean, I know him because you've always been kind to me, but as it goes into being in a relationship, I don't know this person, but I really like this person. And I think seeing you shows that there's hope. Yes. For any women, because ladies, if only you knew. But I am so happy, you know, for the both of you. I know both of you guys, and seeing you guys together, it's very authentic, you know. And what I have peeped, even on social media or even just watching her, how she is with you in person, she allows you to be who you are. Yeah, like, she lets you be you. And I think that's one of the things with a man. Like, sometimes we do grow, right? We change a little bit, but for the majority of the time, we are who we are, and who we're not, we'll never be. And I think loving someone and having a healthy relationship is allowing that person to be them, as long as it's respectful. You know what I'm saying? And she allows you to be you. So I think that's dope. I do have another question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
What is this thing where men love threesomes? Don't even worry about talking about it. We're going to talk about that on the next episode of the show. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Tamara Jasmine, and I really appreciate you watching tonight. Feel free to drop me a DM. Let me know what you thought about the show, or let me know if there are some topics that you would like Terry and I to discuss on the next episode. I'm on Facebook under Tamara Thomas, and also Jasmine Soiree, JasmineSoiree. Also Instagram and Twitter, you can find me under Tamara Jasmine __ or Jasmine Soiree on all of the social media outlets. Follow me. How do people find you? Because you're going to get hate mail and love mail.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, it's okay. You can find me on Facebook under Terry Potts. You can find me on Instagram under flexknowsbest. And you can also follow me and my babe,
who's here in studio, by the way.
You can follow us on Instagram. We just created an Instagram account. We are working on a YouTube channel. We're going to be vlogging, doing daily vlogs, fitness journey vlogs. We're going to be traveling. We're going to bring you guys a lot of good content. But in the meantime, go ahead and check out our Instagram. We just started it. It's LA and Flex. So that is LA and Flex on Instagram. Make sure you guys go check us out and follow us.
Definitely follow them. Hey, it's been real. I definitely love for you to come back.
Anytime.
Because that last question, I'm sure people gonna want to know the answer to that. They even threw you. You just like, you was looking like, oh God, I don't know what to say. Thank you guys for watching. It's been real. Peace out. That was good?
It was good.
High five. Yeah. Okay.
Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine, and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the show.